Donald Trump has had a disastrous few weeks. If you look at the polls, he needs a miracle. In the American political lexicon, there's such a thing as the October surprise. The stuff that you're sitting on, is an October surprise in there? Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material, and often very significant risks. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
But it's quite something to suggest a murder. That's basically what you're doing.
Well, others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
Welcome back to Hannity. So during my exclusive interview with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange earlier this week, I asked him if he believes that governments are honest to you, the American people, and elsewhere around the world. This previously unaired portion of that interview is right here. Do you believe governments regularly lie, propagandize, manipulate the minds of their citizens? Fair statement?
Yes, very much so.
And that you want to expose that truth to people?
Yes.
Regardless of whether it's Republican, Democrat?
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
political agenda?
Absolutely.
And the question then goes back to the fourth estate. This is the biggest media story. Why won't the media do it? If I have information that Hillary Clinton is colluding with the media, that Hillary Clinton is benefiting and pay to play.
You just answered the question. Why won't the media do it? Because 4/5 of the media in the United States felt that it was part of the same system that Hillary Clinton was part of, the same social strata, benefiting politically and socially and financially, as far as the media owners are concerned, from that system that Hillary Clinton most represented.
Let me ask this question.
Now
you're taking on the big, the mighty, the powerful. I don't sense a political agenda, because you're telling me if it was Donald Trump emails, you would have released those.
Well, look, we did release Sarah Palin's emails.
Right.
We released,
but you didn't have RNC
we released Norm Coleman's donor information back in 2009.
So my question then is, so you really don't have an agenda except to tell the truth that with regularity, bureaucracy, government entities lie and prevent the people they represent from hearing the truth. Fair statement?
Yes. Not only lie and act in a duplicitous manner and do things that are harmful to the population inside the country and out, but they act in an incompetent manner. They're full of incompetent people. And the more secretive the area is, the more incompetent it becomes, because there's no proper oversight. There's no accountability. You can't go, this guy did a good job, this guy did a bad job, because you can't compare.
You're saying transparency will lead to competence.
Exactly.
And governments don't by their very nature. Now, what about...
They hate transparency. They loathe it.
But do you believe...
Because they have to work harder.
But this is also, let me ask this question, this is an evil world we live in. We live in a world where convert or die, Allahu Akbar, kill in the name of Allah. You do believe that government should have secrets. covert operations, plausible deniability. You're never going to be able to hold them accountable for that.
WikiLeaks has secrets. We protect our sources. Okay. So that's a core area of competency where we have to keep information secret. Right. Investigating the mafia. The police have to keep that investigation secret for the time it takes them to get to trial. Okay, not forever, the time it takes to get to trial. Sometimes your doctor, for example, maybe there's a reason to keep something secret there. So secrecy should be as small as possible in, to how much it encompasses and for how long it's encompassed. But there's a place for it.
But you never set out to have a goal to influence this election. That was not your goal, you're saying.
Not one way or the other. Did we set out to give the American people true information about the players that they were going to have to deal with? Yes, of course.
What do you think?
Of course. We don't publish, we're not in the business of publishing information about dust. We're in the business of publishing information about power. Why are we interested in publishing information about power? Because people can do things with power. They can do very bad things with power. If they're incompetent, they can do dangerous things. If they're evil, they can do wicked things. So we are interested in publishing information about power, so those people have to deal with power, all of us, can go, okay, well, I don't like that guy. I'm not going to deal with him. I'm not going to vote for him. Or that guy sounds all right. Maybe I want a business relationship with him. Maybe he should marry my sister. If you don't know what's happening in the world with powerful individuals, corporations and governments, you can't decide whether you're going to support them or not support them, get into some kind of relationship with them or not. And so as a result, immoral actors within the state or within those big corporations prosper. You see, if you have true information coming out about how people actually behave, what's the result? The rest of the society goes, you know what, I don't want to deal with you.
And welcome back to Hannity. So during my exclusive sit-down interview with Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian Embassy in London, I asked him specifically about the FBI and DHS report on 2016 and the election hacking. Let's take a look. The FBI, Department of Homeland Security, this goes to the 29th of December this past year, released a joint report detailing how federal investigations and investigators linked the Russian government to the hacks of the Democratic Party organization. And they gave a 13-page memo. I'm sure you've read it.
I have read it in detail.
At this point. Okay. Supposedly they give technical details regarding tools and some of the infrastructure of the Russian civilian and military intelligence, but they don't give any proof positive.
They give a five-page description of some of the tools that they allege that the Russian state uses. The rest is just fairly boring security recommendations. On the top, there is a disclaimer saying nothing.
I was going to ask you about that.
Guarantee that any of this information is accurate.
Right. It's a guess.
So if it's just you'll look in the. I used to be a computer security expert. That was my job. This is a bad report, and you look in the rest of the computer security community, you'll see dozens of other computer security experts in the United States, absolutely not affiliated with Russia.
Isn't it contradicted though by our own Director of Intelligence, National Intelligence?
James Clapper.
That's James Clapper.
There's nothing in that report that says that any information was given to us. Nothing. What they have is what they call indicators. So like a way to recognize if these tools, these alleged Russian tools, have been used on your system. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in response to that, some engineer at one of the US electricity companies found this signature on one of their laptops. Okay. So then this was analyzed by a wide range of US computer security experts. I've read those reports in detail. And it's discovered this is a commercially available tool produced by Ukraine. So it's straight out of the bat, we either have a deliberate attempt to mislead or thoroughly incompetent work. Straight out of the bat. So that story about the laptop at the power generation center, that was picked up by the Washington Post and the administration, pushed everywhere, that here's the Russians infiltrating the electricity grid, and it was completely bogus.
That was bogus. But there's another side of this which is, I think, pretty fascinating, and that is that Hillary Rodham Clinton had a private server at a mom-and-pop shop in a bathroom closet that I would argue, and other lawyers would make arguments that it was illegal for her to have. From what we understand, the Podesta emails were hacked through a phishing scheme where it said, click on this, give us your information, and he did so. So we made it...
Well, there's a number of hacks of the DNC and Podesta based on the publicly available information. This is not something coming from our sources. We published, as part of our policy of full disclosure, not interfering with the material, we published the several Podesta emails, which shows Podesta responding to a phishing email. Now, how did they respond? Podesta gave out that his password was the word password. His own staff said, this email that you've received, this is totally legitimate. So this is something a 14-year-old kid could have hacked
based on
Podesta that way. In relation to computer security and Hillary Clinton's security, those Secretary of State emails, if you read closely FBI reports and the emails that we released related to Hillary Clinton, you'll see Aberdeen had access to them. A variety of technicians at this very small IT company had access to them. They were shipped through the post in a laptop. She had over a dozen different devices keyed in to have access to them, her iPad, etc. She made almost no attempt to keep them secure from states. Now, was she trying to keep them secure from the Republicans? Well, probably. But in terms of foreign states, almost no attempt.
The reason we have these laws, though, are for transparency, and she wanted to avoid congressional oversight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's absolutely my interpretation as well. Now, WikiLeaks has been a very strong proponent of the Freedom of Information Act. This is probably actually, if you think about it, probably against our interests as a publisher. But we believe that people have the right to know true information about what the government is doing. Now, the Freedom of Information Act has been subverted. We published Sarah Palin's emails. Why? Because she had, when she was governor of Alaska, she maintained an account that was being used, intentionally or not, to evade the Alaskan Freedom of Information Act. So we published them back in 2008.